Well, with the global issue of climate change, a growing number of companies and entrepreneurs are rethinking how they manufacture everyday products. And we're not just talking creative ways of recycling, we're also talking about new ways to create food sources like meat. And there's a new company that's getting into the business of lab-grown meat. You heard me, lab-grown meat. So we got to find all about this. It's called Atelier Meats. And here with us is Chief Science Officer Mohit Bhatia and Dr. Joseph Freeman, a biomedical engineering professor from Rutgers who is working with Atelier. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having us here.
Sure. So first, Mohit, let's start with just telling us about the company.
So if you go to your regular grocery store today, you find a lot of products that are meatless meats. And the meatless meat is essentially a plant-based protein to make burgers and other meats that taste like meat. But we started to think about this a little differently. What if we could actually make meat in a lab instead of in an animal? And if we can do that, the environmental impact would be substantial. So we put together a group of scientists and decided, let's start this company that will make meat, but which is real meat. It's not for vegans, not for vegetarians. It's just real meat that you can put on a grill, cook it, make a stew out of it, except we don't go into an animal, and we try to save the environment in doing so.
So how does that work? How do you grow meat in a lab?
It's something that people in tissue engineering have actually been doing for decades. It's the idea that you can take cells from an animal and then put them on some sort of a substrate, or what we like to call a scaffold, and just grow them using the same nutrients that they would receive when they're in the body. So you get cells from a cow and you just grow them up in a way that actually produces textured meat.
Let's take steak, for example. How is this steak that is grown in a lab different than something we'd buy in a grocery store right now?
Well, it's not. The whole point is it's not going to be that much different. It's the same types of cells grown with the same types of nutrients. The only difference is instead of them killing an animal and then taking the steak that way, we're actually growing something of a specific shape and producing it in the lab.
So Mohit, why did you set out to do this? What was the point of all of this in the first place?
If you think about it, about half the land in our country, of arable land, is used for raising cattle. These animals, they belch, and when they belch, they let out methane, and methane is about 28, 30 times more potent in terms of greenhouse gases and destroying the environment. In addition to that, we have to be able to have a more sustainable source of meat. And so this is a really good approach where we don't destroy the environment, we don't slaughter animals, and we use maybe 10% of the land to actually, or less, to grow this meat and provide it to the population.
So what has the approval process been like for you?
So the approval process has not actually been cleared up in the United States. The FDA and the USDA have put together a conglomerate of a team of people who will review safety of these products.
So how long until we would see a product like this on our store shelves?
I think it could be a couple of years before we can actually start to see these products.
Well, thank you so much. This was fascinating and something to definitely keep an eye on down the road. So for more information, go to ateliermeats.com. Thank you both so much.